Have you ever wondered how people in cyber are taking home $300K a year while being fully remote? This video is going to show you exactly how it's done. When I first started, I had some technical background, but no coding skills and no idea how to navigate the cyber job market. I focused on finding the right role, developing the right skills, and learning how to create the right systems. Over time, what that did was it turned into multiple remote roles, created a lot more income, and gave me freedom that I never thought was possible. I'm Sid, a senior GRC analyst who went from 100K to close to 400 just by learning a few key things about governance, risk, and compliance, GRC. I'm gonna break down the exact path that made this possible. So in this video, you're going to see the steps that I took, the decisions that I made that mattered, and the things that I avoided that would have slowed me down. If you want a real plan for building a high-paying cybersecurity career, this will give you the blueprint. So let's start with how I broke into cybersecurity in the first place. My very first role was a GRC analyst, not a SOC analyst, not a pen tester, no coding all day. GRC was the smartest entry point for someone like me because it did not require many heavy technical skills. Instead, it required something I had already had the ability to do: communicate clearly, stay organized, and understand processes. I picked GRC because it's the area of cyber that every company needs. Whether they're a bank, a hospital, or a tech startup, it's the right place for beginners to begin their career in cyber. My job was simple. I supported audits, helped maintain policies, reviewed risk, documented controls, and kept my organization compliant. It wasn't glamorous work, but it was a perfect foundation and the fastest way to break into an industry that everybody wants to be a part of, let's be honest. So what are the skills that you need to focus on to begin your career within GRC and cybersecurity? I want to break it down into 4 skills that really matter. 1 is understanding frameworks. 2 is basic risk assessments. 3, documentation. And last, how do companies manage compliance? With these 4 skills, you will guarantee yourself a career in cybersecurity. So let's take a look at the first one, understanding frameworks. I learned about NIST, SOC 2, and ISO 27001, but not by memorizing them, but by understanding what they were trying to protect. What is a control? What does evidence look like? Once that clicked, everything became easier. You have to build the foundation. 2, risk assessments. I learned how to identify an asset and figure out the impact and likelihood a potential threat can have to this asset, and what controls are supposed to be in place to mitigate these threats. This taught me how companies think about risk, which is at the center of every GRC conversation. 3, documentation. I improved how I write reports. I summarized issues. I organized evidence. If you can write clearly and follow a structure, you instantly look more senior than you actually are. Because guess what? The seniors are messing this up. 4, I learned how real workflows and audits run, how do control owners provide evidence, how gaps get tracked, and how exceptions get approved. These are 4 skills. These aren't technical skills, but if you can master these and build a foundation around this, you guarantee yourself a successful career within cyber. How I became valuable inside my first role. 1, I became predictable. If someone asked me for something, they knew it was going to get done. That alone put me ahead of majority of the team. 2, I took ownership of the tasks nobody wanted to do. Evidence collection, writing summaries, updating trackers. Nobody wants to do these things, but these are the things that will keep you paid. 3, all my thoughts were GRC related at work, meaning I looked at every task through the lens of risk, controls, and documentation quality. Because of that, I started getting invited to bigger projects, got more responsibility, which led to more money. Lastly, communication is the biggest standout trait. With clear communication, you're making your manager and their manager's life a lot easier, which gets you more money. People always ask me how I went from working one role to managing multiple jobs, especially in cybersecurity. Most people think it's impossible, but there is a way to do it. You just have to be very organized. You have to create a system for your first job. So you need to know the ins and outs of what's going to be due when, who likes their report done this way, who doesn't like this in their report. You have to understand what your managers want. Second, you have to get tools to work for you. So utilize Copilot, utilize ChatGPT, utilize Power Automate. Whatever your organization allows you to use it. You can develop macros. I was managing one job completely off macros. Data would come in at X time, the macro would run, gather the data, and build a report. Now you have things like Power Automate that work even better. So you learn how to utilize it. My most recent job, Power Automate, was doing everything. anything. I just had to show up to meetings. Once you know how GRC workflows operate, stacking roles become a time management game, not a hustle. If you want to learn the exact system I use, follow along. I break everything down step by step. Now, let's take a little deep dive into what makes it possible to manage multiple roles without burning out. And this is the part people underestimate. You're gonna have to take some time to build your systems. If you don't create a step-by-step methodology for each job, you're not gonna be able to manage it. You're just gonna get burnt out. You have to build templates, checklists, and trackers for yourself to make sure everything is getting done. Leverage Power Automate, leverage other AI tools, leverage macros. These things have been at our disposal. It's time we use them. So this alone, leveraging these tools, saved me dozens of hours a month. Using policy templates, procedure templates, reporting narratives. So documentation becomes an easy thing. It doesn't require you to spend 20 hours a week. It requires you to spend 2. And yes, I leverage AI, but in a controlled way. They give us the tools. Why aren't we using it? AI helps draft policies. It helps summarize audit findings. It helps clean up narratives and structure reports. But the judgment, the interpretation, and the control accuracy still comes from me. You still have to analyze. You can't just trust a tool to do all your work. You have to review it. Once you understand that GRC is a system, not chaos, you'll realize that if you run this system extremely efficiently, you can scale without increasing any stress. The biggest decisions that I made to increase my income was choosing the right type of companies and focusing strictly in GRC and avoiding distractions that slow people down. Listen, a lot of people waste time chasing things that don't actually move them forward. If you don't know how to code, learning to code will take you years. So why waste your time learning? You need the money now. You can't wait 4 years to get it, right? Getting certifications. Do you want to pay your own money to get certifications that a company would pay for you to get? Get into the entry-level role first, develop more skills, and get the company to pay for you. You don't need certifications to land your first job. You need skills. But the biggest decision that I made that catapulted my income trajectory was choosing GRC roles in regulated industries, because that's where compliance workload is always high, repeatable, and always remote friendly, even before COVID. So really what you need to do is find a company with a mature security program, because if you're building something up, it's just going to eat you alive. That one job will 1, underpay you, 2, overwork you, 3, make you hate your manager and make your manager hate you. It's not worth it. Trust me, find companies with mature security programs, because there's processes that exist. Now it's your job to find those processes, create your systems, apply it to those processes, and let these systems work for you, and you just review at the end of the day. Finally, you have to remain consistent. If your quality of work drops, so will your income. You can't sacrifice either, right? So let's make sure we're delivering quality work. If I could start over, I'd start sooner. Instead of spending all this time second guessing myself or waiting for the right time, I would have gotten started on learning what the fundamentals of GRC are. And chasing certifications, trying to learn how to code are just too long of a process. We don't have that much time, and I'm sure we all need that money soon. So it's time to get started. I would have joined a mentorship. If something was available, I would have joined it, because it would have gotten me to multiple gigs a lot sooner than it did. But now we have the proven system. So this is the breakdown of how I built a near 400K career in cybersecurity. And this is the exact path you can model if you want the same type of freedom and success. If you follow what I shared here, you'll already be miles ahead of people trying to get into cyber. If this helped you, make sure you subscribe. This channel is dedicated to helping you break into cybersecurity the smart way, build a high-paying remote career, and eventually learning how to scale your income using systems, efficiency, and AI. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.